How's it going, my social media friends and family? I want to cordially invite everybody this Thursday, July 11th, to Whiskey Barrel in McAllen, Texas. I will be filming for the first time live, hashtag PVT Professional Valley Talk. Sergio Garcia Films will be filming it, and we will have a long list of guests, beginning with Chris Perez, comedian Raymond Horta, superstar Mario Salazar, Stevie Ray Vaughan's nephew, Jimmy Vaughan's son, and blues guitarist Tyrone Vaughn. Straight Outta Mission rapper Big Reenie, the Venomous Brothers, with Jax Venomous celebrating his birthday that night. Thursday night, July 11th, free admission for everybody. Whiskey Barrel, hashtag PVT Papa.
So Juan P got to live with us. He moved in with us for about a year. Wow. Every day we practice.
He's originally from Rockport or from...
He's from Twin Falls, Idaho, no?
Twin Falls, yeah.
But he's got family up there.
I know he was living in...
Mathis,
all that area, all that area. So se movió
right.
con ustedes allá y puro practice, papá.
We practiced like crazy.
Damn.
We did some crazy things. And Manuel Alvarado, the drummer, he started coming around. I don't know why, because we used to play in Carn City. He's from Pawnee.
You know that area, Alice, Carn City, there's a lot of accordion conjunto. I mean, that's
and we didn't know.
Ese es el guacamole.
I would say, yeah.
That's
a good one.
That's where it's all there, right?
That's where it was all forming, and we didn't all realize there was a lot of chemistry there.
But was like Alvarado a heavy metal drummer or what, dude?
Yeah, he listened to different styles of music. We didn't realize it. And we were just clowning around, and Juan was doing a little bit of rock, and he was playing rock stuff. We were just making noise, not realize we were making music, but we were just doing anything at home. And he would think, oh, he was doing this rock and stuff. I said, what the... I mean, how are we going to do that? And Juan was like, well, let's try something like this. Or I said, okay, well, then we'll just blend.
Was your dad, who was probably a traditionalist, kind of outraged that y'all were doing that to the music?
Well, when we were doing this during the day when he was at work.
Okay.
So he didn't hear it. So by the time he came back and he heard it, he said, no, what are you guys doing? No, eso no es música.
Yeah, because the purists, they don't want you to mess around like that, adding all kinds of stuff to the music.
We were like, he thought we were making
accents
fun of it.
And all that, yeah.
He thought we were making fun of the music.
Yeah.
We were getting out of line. We were losing the respect of the traditional stuff.
Yes, dude.
You see it, and we didn't know that.
And not just them, many program directors and a lot of, fellow musicians in the industry, they were kind of like, they look at you guys a little different, man. Like,
what are you guys doing, or what are you trying to do with
and
the
they
music?
probably didn't think you guys were going to last, dude.
Yeah,
they
definitely.
said, now these guys aren't going to make it that long, man,
Definitely.
Playing that way, right?
I have to say that's the truth. That's true.
Crazy,
that's
bro.
true. You get all kinds of criticism at the same time, but we were playing them at the Motors Ballroom again. Me and Juan, and we were doing all these stuff. And Manuel and my nephew Ruben was on bass, and we had our structure. But my dad would say, "Okay, play me something derechito," and we played our polka straight and this and that. And then after that, we'd go to an intro and this crazy. No. Play me something simple. We'd play them both to show them, Dad, let us try this. Kids don't get motivated, so I had to talk to my mom a lot. Tell mom, tell dad to let us make it exciting. We're bored,
Nobody was doing that, bro. You guys are like the ones that pushed the envelope to conjunto music, man.
Man, we were
besides Steve Jordan, but Steve Jordan had a whole different otra onda, man. He had that jazzy stuff. You guys brought in like the rock and roll into it, bro.
I guess that's what made it interesting, because they listened to rock. I didn't know much rock bands. I didn't know hardly any rock bands. They would always tell me, "Oh, you know who this is, this and this, that," and then
but you all influenced each other to come up with a signature sound, bro.
What helps us is when you feel like, get a little of everybody's advice and let's make something of it. If you want to be in control of the whole situation, then you limit your music.
What I did notice was when Juan P and Alvarado left the band, it strayed more towards a traditional,
Yeah.
It didn't have as much action going on in the music.
You see, at that era, after my dad, got tired or whatever, retired, I had my brother, well, my half brother Henry Deanda came around.
Yeah.
You see, and he was.
How
out of
was he your
California.
half brother?
You see, my dad was married like 4 times.
Oh, okay.
My
All
mom
right.
was the last one, and
Yeah, and Henry was way older than you. I remember
we were
him.
15 years apart.
Yeah, he was running the show for you guys. and-
Well, he was more educated. He he was in the army. You know, he knew how to dress, and he always, when he came around, he started seeing what we were doing. He was telling my dad, "You have something here.
Yeah.
You know, you have."
Yeah, when you were 20, he was 35. He was
Right.
way ahead of the game, man.
Right.
He was like sort of in a position to be a mentor and a guidance for you guys.
And what he was doing over there in California, he had his own restaurant business, but his partner was a Chino. His name was David Shu,
Okay.
and we got to meet him. And this guy, David Shu, he was smart. You know, he looked like a nerd, glasses, and had pins in his pocket like the nerds. But he was very friendly, and he would talk to me and say, "Oh, you know," I would hear him telling Henry, "Man, you should help your brother, help your brother, help your dad. They have something here. You know, you never know. It could be something big or whatever." At the time, and you know, and at the time, well, my dad was old school. It was
And
old
this
school.
was like 85, 86, 87. When did Henry come into the
He
picture?
came in a little right when Juan P was in there.
Which
so
is
83.
like 83. So Juan P was with you since 83, bro?
83.
Damn, bro, I thought he'd probably come in after 85, 86 around there.
No.
So,
yeah.
wow, man.
That's right, because it was Juan first, then it was Manuel, and then it was Edward.
Yeah.
You know, and
How did you pick Edward up, man?
well, Juan lived in Alice and Edward lived in Alice.
And they knew each other?
They knew each other. They went to high school together
yeah.
and stuff. So he told me, "Hey, I know this guy here. He plays a little bass here. He played with Juan Cifuentes. He played
Yeah.
with Naranjo, a little background, and
Yeah.
you know, and
And then Henry came down and he saw you guys and he
Well-
told your dad, hey, look.
well, he started arguing with my dad too. They started cause like my dad, like, "Oh, you don't come over here and tell me how to do my business." You know, how fathers are old school. And
Yeah.
So they had a little, you know, argument and disagreement. He started telling me, "Hey, well, you know what, man? I'm going back to California." He tell me that stuff. He said, "But you know what?" He started sticking it in my head. You can be somebody if you run it right. You need to do this. You need to do all. He started telling me this stuff so much, and I wanted to be. I thought, well, maybe we are, or maybe we can. You know, when they put something in your mind so many times,
And then you
It's
felt he
fixed
was
you.
family. So, you know, I mean, this
Yeah,
guy's going to
yeah,
have my
maybe-
back.
maybe he will. And well, when I got into an argument with my dad and this and that back and forth, and Henry was visiting at the time, I told him, man, he goes, "You know what? My brother told me, you know what you should do? You should scare your dad." I said, "What?" "Scare him. Why don't you leave for a few days and not tell him where you're at and see how much he needs you?" I said, "Really?" I was like 19 years old, 20. "So you think so?" I said, "Yeah, do it." I says, if you want to see how much he cares or what he can do, let's see. So, well, he's older than me, and I think he knows what he's saying. I took a chance. And when I did that, my dad's old school. He didn't care. I didn't realize it. And 3 days later, when I finally called and I said, "Dad, it's me." First thing my dad told me, because he's old school, "¿Vas a tocar o no para ocupar a alguien más?" That's what you're going to tell me? "Sí, ¿vas a tocar o no?" I said, "Dad, you don't, I mean, miss me or nothing?" Well, he's old school. He don't care. My dad he never could say, "I love you, son," back then, because you don't say that. If you did, I guess
It's a
he
weakness,
considered it
form
a
of
weakness.
weakness,
Yeah, you need to keep them strong or whatever, and you don't say things like that. So my dad was never affectionate. My mom was hardly affectionate either, because I guess that's the way they were brought up.
Henry set that up pretty good, no?
He sure did, I think now. I mean, because all I did was told Henry, I said, "Look," I said, "Dad, that's what you feel, then fine." I hung up. And Henry goes, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, I'm not going back. You be the manager now. You say you know so much, whatever you do, you say you can make something out of it. You say you can make us stars. Wait a minute, you just didn't come by yourself." I said, "What do you mean?" "What about your guys?" And I had Manuel, Juan, and Edward. He says, "You have a band with you." I said, well, yeah. "Well, what are we going to do?" We lived in the car for a year.
Wow.
We ate party meat, crackers, whatever, trying to do something. And we went to Alice a lot now. And we had to find somewhere to practice. And we had to try to book ourselves.
And where was Henry living?
We lived in a car. Me and him lived in the car. We lived in
Henry
a hotel
too?
back. Yeah, me and him.
Wow.
We were, and we're going to Alice a lot so we could practice. Me and Juan could practice.
Yeah.
Me and Manny could practice. He wasn't too far from Pawnee.
Uh-huh.
And we would practice at an Alice locally, some clubs, or somebody's house. I think it was Gunial's house.
Yeah. You guys hadn't caught on yet, like with the audiences. It wasn't like it was later where you guys were like everywhere as you are today, playing nationwide with your music, right? So
And you know what really opened the doors for us also, that at the right time is when Johnny Canales started doing his show.
No se nos vayan porque viene the number one show conjunto, United States of America and the Republic of Mexico and the Republic of China y China Nuevo León. You got it. Los chamacos de Jaime de Anda. Take it away, Jaime. Eso.
When he started doing what he was doing, and when we met him, and he saw what he saw in us, he said, man, I want them on my show. He kept telling Henry, and because he had everybody on his show. That man did wonders for all of us back then.
he sure did.
He opened the doors for people to see us nationally and stuff. And when Johnny started hanging out with us and liking us and we're getting along together, well, we would help him take his show to Idaho, to Washington. He would travel with us in our school bus.
Yeah.
And I remember, and he see us, man, eating, whatever, but barely on a budget. And Johnny, too, suffering with us, but he saw a lot of stuff in us. So he says, man, we are helping each other. You're helping me take my show here. My thank you is I will do whatever I can to make sure you guys are on my TV show nationwide. I'm getting a contract, I think at the time with Univision or somebody who was getting into. He says, my show is going to...
It was all over.
It's gonna
they were watching it
explode.
everywhere.
Yes.